Hola, buenos dias. This is Kai Pancho with the weekly Pele report for January 30th of 2019. And every tree is full of cicadas, so I'm needing to get away from the trees. No river and waterfall in this one. Oh my goodness. But you know, the moon is in Sagittarius, moving into Capricorn. And let's get into the great outdoors. This is just the road outside to my house and stuff. I'll find something out here to, you know, check out. The problem is that the trees have the shade too. And it's a little roasty toasty in the sun. So life is a series of trade-offs now, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on to the astrology, yeah? I mean, the sun is conjunct Mercury, like right now. Oh my goodness, here's this is where I want to go, but I gotta open the gate. I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe I'll just pause this frickin' thing and get on the other side of the gate. First I'll see if there's any bulls in there, because I've gotten chased by bulls before and it's not fun. Alright. Okay, so let's see what is going on here, you know. I mean, so the moon goes into Capricorn, right? And then on Sunday goes into Aquarius until we have a new moon. That new moon is on Monday at 15 degrees 45 minutes of Aquarius. Yeah, really a very powerful position. Very powerful, beautiful new moon. I'm going to talk about that, but you know, mostly, and what the mantra is about today is this Mars square Pluto that I'm sure each and every one of us is feeling, you know, in a big, deep way. And it's building up and building up until Friday. Friday, it's exact, but then, you know, it's going to be going on, you know, longer than that. Oh, look at that. There's a nice view. Hope the wind is not too much. And then on Saturday, you know, to chill out, ease up that Mars-Pluto energy a little bit, Venus is going to come into a beautiful trine to Uranus, yeah, in the fire signs. So, you know, Mars is going through Aries. We got some fire squaring that Pluto up there in Earth, Capricorn. But we're going to have a nice Venus trining Uranus from Sag, okay, down there to late Aries. And that's going to be some more fire for us. Until finally, shortly after that good, beautiful trine, she moves into Capricorn. Yeah. And at that point, what I also want to talk about today is just before going into Capricorn, right, in those last degrees of Sagittarius, she is going to square Chiron. Chiron at the 29th degree of Pisces. Chiron is going to be at 29 degrees of Pisces, the last final degree of the entire zodiac for 3 weeks. Yeah. So I want to talk about that. I want to tie that in a little bit, you know, with this new moon and this Aquarian energy. And I have not been up here before. Let's see what this looks like. There's a beautiful valley. I wish I could find some shade around here. Oh my goodness. And on Saturday, Lilith. Okay, and I got a number of concerns. I use the true black moon Lilith. I know there's the mean black moon Lilith. I use the true. So she is conjunct the sun on Saturday. Yeah? And what else can I say? I'll just look at the camera and talk a bunch. I mean, the moon is making a lot of different aspects. Actually, occults, blocks out Venus on Saturday, and then blocks out Pluto. No, blocks out Venus on Thursday, blocks out Pluto, okay, on Saturday, and then blocks out Mercury on Monday. It's called occult. The moon occults 3 planets this weekend. So let's check it out, what all that means. All right, everybody, I found a lone palm tree on the side of the mountain, man, with a couple of rocks right next to it. Ow! So I want to start out, you know, it's been a long time since I've done the astrological mandala, boom, you know, from my, you know, my buddy, Dane Rudger. It was amazing. I actually met him at his 85th birthday, and we went up to him one at a time, and he kind of, you know, gave each one of us a certain blessing or whatever, and he said that I was a seed person, and it's kind of interesting because the mandala, right, for the new moon, it's at the 16th degree of Aquarius, is a big businessman at his desk. That is the image that the psychic received for that degree of the zodiac where our new moon is happening. The key note that Dane gives it is the ability to organize the many aspects of an enterprise involving a large group of human beings. Very interesting with all this Capricorn energy and this Aquarius energy, Sun conjunct Mercury, Lilith coming up to, you know, Lilith, Sun, Mercury conjunction in Aquarius, Venus moving into Capricorn. We're looking at big business. We're looking at, you know, jobs, duties, responsibilities. And let's look at the this is what I love, okay? A great deal of what is glowingly written about the Aquarian age is probably sheer glamour. The new age should be one in which man learns to use the power generated by human togetherness and group interplay. That is, to use it harmoniously for the welfare of the whole, of which the individuals are parts, humanity and the planet Earth. This has never been achieved and only very rarely attempted. Mankind today must make a thorough and irresistible attempt or be nearly destroyed, except for a creative remnant of seed persons who would have to begin again from new foundations. It's like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I think this 2,000-year age of Aquarius that we are kind of the bringers of, you know, is about, you know, humanity coming to the realization that when everybody's happy is when peace happens. Not just a few people happy that have all the power, but an equal distribution of power, right? Anyway, so I would probably give a better Pele report if I was sitting at a desk. I mean, I don't have a desk here, but sitting inside somewhere where the wind wasn't blowing and I hear cows mooing in the background, and you know, if those bulls come over here, I'm dead in the water. Anyway, Chiron for the next 3 weeks at the 29th degree of Pisces, the last degree of the zodiac, culminating, wrapping up an entire 51-year cycle. Wow. Go back to 1967. Okay, there were racial riots. It was the whole, you know, the whole Birmingham, Alabama, Martin Luther King, the whole, the riots were in all over the United States. The 6-Day War over there in Israel, you know, Israel was, that ended, and they, took over, the property over there. The United States and Russia sat down to hammer out a nuclear weapons treaty so that they would not be proliferated anymore. So there's a lot that happened back there in 1967. The 60s were, you know, the birth of, okay, so many, you know, movements, including yoga and, you know, organic food and recycling and free love and LSD and a whole influx of energy came around that particular time. Yeah, I was reading up on this, obviously. It's when also the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, you know, album was produced. Sgt. Pepper's came out in '67. They also found quarks. Discovered that protons and neutrons were actually made up of something quite a bit smaller. Quarks. So this is Aquarius. Yeah, you know, revolution, rebellion, scientific exploration, new things happening, right? You know, the new age of Aquarius. And now Chiron's, you know, closing it up, wrapping it up. Let's look at what this, you know, the Sabian symbol is. A majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness. And as he grows up, begins to look like it. The keynote is the power of clearly visualized ideals to mold the life of the visualizer. It's like you become, you know, it's like, yeah, you become what you visualize. So Nathaniel Hawthorne's story, The Great Stone Face, is used here in an allegorical sense to show the capacity for self-transformation latent in man. This power can be developed through visualization when the emotions and the will are poured into the visualized mental image. At the highest spiritual cosmic level, this is the power used by the God-like beings at the close of a cosmic cycle in projecting the basic formula, the word, which will start a new universe. In the biological sense, it is the power latent in all seeds, the power to produce and guide the growth of the future plant. A most fitting symbol for the last phase of a cyclic process. Within the end of the cycle, the seed of a new beginning exists in potency, unless the entire cycle has proven to be a failure. Yeah, you know, there's like, the wind just comes up out of nowhere and then it goes away. I hope you could hear that. I think the wind was blowing right into the microphone. Anyway, this is what I want to talk about today. These times, and I've said it a million times, but it doesn't stop, okay? It is intense. Mars square Pluto, okay? I was thinking of it. I could come up with a GIF or an image for each one of the aspects. And if I came up with a GIF or an image for Mars square Pluto, I think it would be a bulldog. Okay, a bulldog, you know, like pulling his owner down the street by the leash. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a time, okay? Pluto is the Kundalini, okay? And Mars is the lower octave of Pluto. We know we have a soul, Pluto, because we have desire, Mars. Mars is the ruler of Aries. So Mars in Aries, in fire, is at its home. And it's impulsive and instinctive and spontaneous and self-oriented. It's kind of like the id, okay? I want what I want and I'm going to get it and rah, boom, you know? And it really, it takes off. The seeds of this were actually when Mars was conjunct Pluto. That was like April 26th. of last year. So now we have the first quarter square, where the seeds that were sown last April now are wanting to break forth, break out, break forward. You may have had an idea. You know, the Dream Team and I had an idea of doing a full astrology course. And it was last April. And we said, okay, let's put together a full course for people to learn astrology, right? You know, and like now it's like, trying to get that sucker together, man, you know? So this is a time of tremendous pressure, and a lot of it can be around business. It's a great time to achieve, to do, to go, to make it happen, and to really, you know, press onward. Yeah. And all the planets are direct, like I mentioned, last week. And when all the planets are direct, it's all about going forward and doing and accomplishing and making it happen. So it's really, it's great in one way, and I'm going to talk about, the downside. But let's look at the Venus trine Uranus. Thank God, okay, we do have some pleasant aspects, after the moon goes through Capricorn, okay, and hits, okay, Pluto and the node and Saturn, and then goes into, Aquarius. I mean, it's like, yeah, of course it will be a time when public figures, okay, and the news, large-scale organizations, United Nations and governments and, banks and things like that. I mean, this is all Capricorn. Aquarius is, these huge global corporations and things that are, groups of people, yeah, and affect the decisions and the choices and the actions of these, the people. We're still in a hierarchical patriarchy, so the decisions of a few affect the many, as in the 800,000 workers that got laid off or shut down because one person. Anyway, I don't want to get political in the Pele reports. People give me a hard time. So, but what I want to really bring out, okay, in all of this, accomplishment, action, forward motion, it's very what? Yang, 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 yang. And it can also, fire can burn. And this can also be a time where you are ready to burn, and you're burning hot, red, mad, because somebody, the square has to do with blocks, like a box. You're in a square box, and I need to get out of this box or through this box, and somebody's in my way, okay, and somebody pissed me off, and somebody is going to get it, and, I mean, this can be a real time of revenge. I always think of a fish called Wanda, the guys on the, anyway. So, this is a danger. This can be a very harmful aspect. This can be a very violent aspect. This can be, a time where if we don't consciously master that red energy, that Kundalini energy, it could overtake us and wreak havoc. So I want to say, this is a time of cultivating the yin energy. That's why the mantra is about breathing. I'm going to actually do a video for the New Paradigm community, on long, deep breathing. It's amazing the benefits of long, deep breathing. You got to check it out. It's a Kundalini yoga practice that comes in really super handy when you're about to lose it. Not only when you're about to lose it, I mean all the time. It's a good thing. Oh, goodness. Crazy Pele report. So, this is also a time, this is the north node of the moon in Cancer. Okay, this is the unknown, the unfamiliar, the future evolution right now is for each one of us to get in touch with the feminine, to get in touch with our moon energy, our lunar energy. And there's nothing really touchy-feely emotional about Aquarius. Okay, you know, Aquarius is the scientist that, you know, can go in there and do stem cell research on, you know, fetuses and whatever. I mean, it's just like, you know, science and technology and, you know, extraterrestrial and whoa. Yeah. So, you know, we want to balance, okay, obviously the polarity, too much Aquarius, you know, too much Leo, these opposites. Leo rules the heart energy. So, you know, we have, you know, again, that polarity needs to be balanced. Okay, and as Aquarius balances with Leo, I'm not trying to give Aquarius a hard time. There's just different signs have, okay, their strengths, their capacities, you know, their contribution to the whole wheel. Okay, and Aquarius has that contribution of detached observation that sees the whole big picture and can therefore make improvements and show insights. So the moon in Aquarius can be emotional genius. It can be, I kind of observe my emotions from outside my emotions. That's the you know, that's the high expression of that moon in Aquarius. Okay, it's like, yeah, I see those emotions and they're there and everything and I have them and I can, but I am also, okay, the observer, the witness. You know, and this is part of this mastering these emotions. And of course, Aquarius is an air sign. I'm talking about long, deep breathing. So, just digging myself out of a hole there. Oh, God. So let's get to the mantra, man. That's enough chit-chat for today. I feel and see the color red, rising and urging me on. If in the rush I can stop and breathe, together we will get it done. That was the last point I wanted to bring. This age of Aquarius, this new moon in Aquarius, this closing, okay, of that, you know, Chiron 51-year cycle, this whole time period, all this stuff in Capricorn and Pluto and Saturn hitting their south nodes, we're ending a huge cycle of thousands of years, not just 51. And we are giving birth to this age of Aquarius, and it is about togetherness. Groups, organizations, communities, and that involves getting over our Leo individual specialness, you know, and balancing that with this Aquarius that is the good of the whole, the good of the group, the good of the planet. So this is a great opportunity if we can stay in our heart space, balance the yang energy that's happening now with beautiful yin, nurturing, caring, loving energy, and then, instead of trying to change the world by myself, we will all change the world together. Ow! One more time. I feel and see the color red, rising and urging me on. If in the rush I can stop and breathe, together we will get it done. Namaste, aloha, so much love.